But I was thinking it might be very sweet for all of us, since we're looking at the issue of vitality and youthfulness, to do some healings that directly address certain aspects or areas of the changes that take place in the human body as we grow older. And one of those is the ability to sleep well. The ability to sleep well, because balancing the waking, dreaming, and sleeping functions in the physiology and in the nervous system is essential for maintaining balance in all the other areas of the body. When the rest is balanced, then it really helps everything else. I'm just feeling into everybody's physiologies, everybody who's here in person, everybody who's here in the future, ancestors who are here in the past. Imbalance, the sleep imbalance sits in the fire and air level of the elements. And the first thing I'm feeling is a kind of a releasing of regret and anxiety. This is all releasing in the the 4 dense levels of the physiology. So emotional, mental, etheric, and physical. These are the levels of the physiology we're working with in this healing. There's also a lot of frustration associated with laying in bed, not falling asleep. Everybody knows that when we lay in bed with the eyes closed, we get 80% the value of sleep, right? So even if you're not sleeping, if you're laying in bed with eyes closed, you're getting some value that's worth getting, better than getting up. Don't get up. So that's point number 1, very simply, point number 1. Don't get up. Number 2, awareness on the pineal gland. Everybody knows the pineal gland is one of the structures in the brain that is, see, most of the structures of the brain have 2 parts, right? Because you've got your left side and your right side, and they're like mirror images of each other, right? So like the thalamus, for example, or the caudate, or, the various cortices of the brain, the occipital nerve, they're always in doubles, right? There's one occipital nerve for this eye and one occipital nerve for that eye. But the pineal gland, and I think it's the pituitary gland also, are center. There's just one. So it's right in the center. And it's right about there, like kind of just a little bit above and behind your ear, and then right in the center there. So there's a spot in the center of the brain. We'll just, in our silence, take a moment to isolate and locate that spot. I'm really glad you mentioned this, because one of my thoughts was that the pineal gland is one of the structures in the body that grows larger with age. It particularly starts to go through a growth spurt around middle age, which is very interesting. As awareness goes to the pineal gland, it lights it up, it activates, it nourishes and enhances. There we go. And what I'm feeling right now is that the awareness, there was like a valve that opened, or energetic meridian opened between the brainstem and the pineal gland. I see an opening. For some people, there was a blockage there and it got unblocked. It was blocked with those discordant feelings that we were just working with a moment ago. So this opening, and the opening of the meridians between the brainstem and the pineal gland makes available to the pineal gland more dopamine, because dopamine is produced at the upper area of the brainstem. And dopamine is really important to help the pineal gland. I didn't know this. I'm just learning this right now, you guys. I mean, we can check it out on Google, see what Google says about it, but this is what I'm getting. It's very important for helping the pineal gland function in a balanced and appropriate manner. In fact, everybody knows that feeling that you have as you're falling asleep, and it's like so yummy, right? It's such a cozy, snuggly, oxytocin is probably also involved there, dopamine and oxytocin, and there's just that lovely, oh, my bed is just a mountain of puffy softness, that feeling. I'm seeing a safe space, like a healing space or a sacred healing space. The energy of the sacred healing space, the energy signature, is transferring to create um, like a little shielding around the pineal gland. So the pineal gland feels safe. And with that, clearing layers and layers of impressions, illusions, pain bodies, attachments, and fear around in the pineal gland, at the etheric level of the pineal gland, that have been carried from past incarnations. Traumas, night traumas, and in the past. So clearing all these impressions, memory patterns of night trauma. And that feeling of I can't really settle down because I have to be on guard. I have to watch out. I have to look out. Anything could happen. The enemy could come and attack us at night, for heaven's sake. There's also a feeling in there of being completely out of control and weak and not having autonomy over your own business. That's where the value of the healing that we just did for the solar plexus comes in, because the solar plexus is the center of holding our strength and power. So the fact that when our healing collective created a healing effect that went for the whole world, we also strengthen and integrate the capacity of our own physiologies to promote and produce that type of energy for our own use. This is also related to the opening of the meridians from the brainstem up to the pineal gland. Everybody knows, right? Your pineal gland produces serotonin, melatonin, and DMT, and particularly melatonin is the neurochemical responsible for the sleep process. Oh, I'm falling asleep. It's good. That means it's working, right? Melatonin has an energy signature. And the energy of melatonin, and melatonin also depends upon certain neural processes that include the amount of tryptophan, which is in the body. I understand, and tryptophan is also produced by another organ of the body. I can't remember which one. But it doesn't just come on its own. It needs that tryptophan or tryptophan, however it's pronounced. And oxytocin is also really important. So it's a combination of moves. And it requires the right combination of moves in the right sequence and the right quantities. So that sequencing and those quantities are being received by the body as a download, like a formula. And this formula resets the process in the physiology to produce the melatonin in sufficient quantities. Gratitude and adoration, recognition is being offered up through the cord of light, into the field of self, which we think of as the body elemental. And from the body elemental, it goes through that sort of chain of command back to divine being, So that means that the body elemental, which I understand as the overseeing administration or administrator of all bodily functions, all healing functions. We could have done a big healing for the body elemental in this session as well, but But right now, we just appreciate the body elemental's role. We've done healings for the body elemental before. Appreciate the role of the body elemental in supporting some convection between the healing that's taking place for the pineal gland and the source of creation, the resource of all healing, so that the healing goes to the pineal gland and our gratitude goes back to source. And then more blessings and healings come to the pineal gland, and then more gratitude goes back to source. And we're creating a wheel of convection. Those wheels are so lovely. When the silence of being is established, those wheels will roll to infinitely fast speed, and they hum as they roll, and they are responsible for the cosmic music, for the music of the music of our universe. Bliss is flowing. Thank you.